We can get it done. So first, I want to thank everyone for coming to day one of the convening. I hope you got a lot out of it. I know that in the sessions I went to, we had a lot of great discussions. So the first thing I want to do is take a look at our parking lot. And I only see one comment. So there's no questions. So that means either A, we did an amazing job and there's no questions, or B, nobody's thought of any questions to ask. I'm much willing to believe it's the latter. But we do want to make sure that, if you do have anything that pops up, it could be later today, tonight, tomorrow, drop them in here and we will make sure to do our best to answer them. We appreciate any and all comments, because really we're doing this for teachers. I'm sure that we would not want to spend our time going to some kind of training that doesn't directly affect what you're doing. So definitely we want and need your feedback. So just kind of a quick overview of our sessions. Track one was all about invention education, and we started with the idea of globalization. We're taking global issues and taking a look at what's happening in your community to see, are there someone already working there? Can you partner with them? What are those things that you could use to theme as you're looking at the NEDC? And then looking at identifying your problem, and then starting to come up with what are the solutions that your initial ideas to find your solutions. In track two, we looked at an activity to help students start identifying bias and what it is, and then being able to start asking a lot of questions about that. I think it was the best one of the day, mainly because I was running it. So just a little humble brag there. And then we went to What's Wrong with Avery, which was a great presentation by Washington MESA, working with a group to help look at some of the issues that are affecting communities that our students live in, communities that could need some kind of assistance as we're looking at this. And then our last session was navigating uncertainty, as we looked at how we kept MESA going during the pandemic. Some great things that were done, some great insights into how to work with students and moving into that space. So thank you to everybody who presented that. The curriculum committee really appreciates your input, and really appreciated hearing a lot from teachers too. Okay. And so for tomorrow, we are starting at 9 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Mountain, 12 o'clock Eastern. I'll make sure I have the right time zone in there. It will start with a session. So we'll start off initially going into that session. Then we'll go to our alumni panels, which will be in a webinar format. So the first will be early career individuals. We have 3 great individuals, and then some veteran career people for the next alumni panel. And then we'll do our final session and our closing. And at the end of that, we will have a survey for you to fill out to give us feedback on how we did, as well as maybe getting a t-shirt if you so wish, because we do have t-shirts that we do want to give away to everybody who's attended.
And Bill will kind of mention again that we also are grateful to our keynote speaker, Dr. Ebony Amatala McGee. We will be providing the book, Black, Brown, and Bruised, to participants as well. And so hoping to get as many of you to complete that survey to give us feedback. And again, for us to get you this book that hopefully will give us things to continue to think about throughout. I always think about these types of convenings when especially as we're talking about our work with equity, if we stop thinking about these topics at the end of the convening, then to some extent we failed. We really want and hope that we'll kind of have us all kind of thinking about these topics as we move forward, especially as to how they relate to our students and our service to our students and the communities that they're coming from. So the book, the t-shirt, all that to say thank you to you for giving of your time and being here and engaging in these conversations, in these thought processes that will continue to move MESA USA forward and our individual MESA states forward as well. Thanks.
I saw a question in the chat that said survey. We will have a survey tomorrow at the end of the day. And that is a way that we're going to make sure that you attend both days, and also to be able to get you your shirt. So be prepared for that for tomorrow. And I actually had thought we would have more questions, but I saw the comment that there was a lot of opportunities to ask questions during the sessions, which is great. And again, if you think of anything, please make sure to post it in the Padlet or bring them tomorrow, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And we really appreciate you spending today with us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And so with that, I don't want to keep you anymore because I don't have any other things to say. So unless Rudy, you have something to say?
Bill, this is Anita. Just some housekeeping is that, oh, let me turn back on there, is if everyone just go and pay attention to the schedule, you're reminded that we do not meet in the morning the first thing. So you're just going straight to that first session. So that first time before going to the panel. So we will be gathering together to remind you with instructions. So just really take note of your agenda and just go to the first workshop on your own. And then the alumni will function as webinars similar to this morning. So just a little bit to be aware of what to expect logistics wise.
And then I'll just mention I put the Padlet into the chat in case folks didn't have that. It's a place to kind of, again, ask any additional questions, ask for any additional resources that you're hoping for. I will mention that in the invention education track, the first 3 sessions kind of focused on curricular pieces that could be taken into the classroom, activities that could be done with students. Tomorrow, we're going to be focused a little bit more on kind of implementation of, so if you're a MESA state that's interested in finding out, like, how do I get started with the invention education? We're going to be very fortunate to have both Danielle Ladd from Colorado, who's going to be talking about how Colorado has gone through and implemented as coming back to MESA and kind of jumping into how they're engaging their advisors in the use of invention education as MESA is building back up in Rocky Mountain MESA. Then at the end, in the final session, we're going to have Dr. Tang Zhang talk about nearly a decade of experience with invention education. She's going to have an opportunity to kind of share her vision for invention education, why it's been so critical in the area of Oregon, and why she thinks it's critical kind of across the country, and all these skill sets that students are able to build upon and learn that can kind of help them in design thinking, regardless of what field that they go into. So we're looking forward to those 2 remaining sessions in the invention education track and the wonderful alumni opportunities that we'll have through the 2 panels as well.
The second track will be focused on the NEDC. The first one will be what the heck do I do? So some practical insights and applications for actually doing the NEDC. And then after the alumni panels, we'll have a session about unpacking the NEDC specs by members of the NEDC committee who will share, this is what the judges are looking for. This is the things that we need to have in there. And we're going to get everybody involved in looking through all of those.
Pardon me, a quick question, Bill.
Sure, Kurt.
Is that unpacking the NEDC, is that looking at this year's specs or for next year's?
So next year's specs have not been released yet. And so we are looking at this year's specs and then talking about those things that are in there. The changes for next year are not going to be, we're not moving to a new competition next year. We're going to be in year 3 of this year's competition. So the changes will be minimal.
Okay, very good.
Just want to thank Anita, Ling, and New Mexico MESA for a lot of the behind the scenes recording of all of the sessions, helping us to make sure that we're gathering all these pieces to be able to kind of bring those pieces forward and have them be available to you as resources. So thank you to New Mexico MESA as they are gearing up for the hosting of the national competition. We turned to them and they said, sure, we can. And as they do often, and we are grateful to both Anita and Ling. Thank you all.
Thank you. And so I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. So have a great rest of your day.